we talked about it. I said yesterday I did my review of these undrafted free agents. I did my quick review on who got drafted, and I said today it's all about what the teams got and what were their grades. What do I think they ranked with what they had? And for me, I'm going to start from the top, A to Z, looking at the teams that drafted in the NBA draft on Thursday, and kind of gave you my rankings and positional rankings and what I think they may go to and where they may be in the future. Looking at the picks again, I was disappointed. But let's run through it. Understand my logic as I run through this. Atlanta Hawks were the first team in this alphabetical order listing, and God darn it, I mean, DeAndre Hunter at 4 was a reach. Was a reach, okay? This team was a D off of the DeAndre Hunter play. They got to a B because they got to a C because of Cam Reddish, and they got to a B minus because of the Bruno Fernando pick. DeAndre Hunter to the Hawks this early, a 6'7", small forward, possibly power forward because of his arm length, with a team that already has a John Collins. People are throwing him under the bus. Do you know how talented this guy is? I mean, this is a number 4 pick here. Do you know how talented John Collins is right now? To throw him in the dirt is ridiculous. They also got Alex Poitras, who's coming along pretty well. They got Omari Spellman, okay? So you're saying that's not a small forward. Taurean Prince is gone. They added Allen Crabbe. Remember, these trades can't go through, I think, through, look at August, and you'll see all these trades go through and movement that you saw in the draft. For instance, Jackson Hayes doesn't play for this team. He's on New Orleans. But they have talent there. DeAndre Bembry is there. He's listed as guard, but he's really small forward. They still actually have Kent Bazemore. I mean, there's still small forwards on this team. I just don't see the logic in drafting DeAndre Hunter as your glue guy this high. It doesn't make sense. That's why I didn't like this pick. So that's where they went down a big grade because of the early reach with DeAndre Hunter. He's a great player, just not a number 4 pick. Cam Reddish, great pick. Great risk reward. Number 10 in the lottery. I think he's positioned well with this team. Play alongside with Herter and Trae Young. All about his development. If I were this team, I would tank again next year. There's a couple big guys that may be of interest. But then they got their big man, who I think is one of the better big men in this draft, Bruno Fernando. They may have one of the more athletic front courts that you'll see with Bruno Fernando added on with my man, Mr. John Collins at the power forward position, right? They got this listed wrong. So John Collins and Bruno Fernando leaping out the gym, somebody to throw the ball to from a Trae Young perspective. I like this team. Alex Yinlang can stretch the floor. Cam Reddish is going to be able to stretch the floor. Yeah, Allen Crabbe, who can stretch the floor. Omari Spellman is like your big bruiser. Really nice. Alec Poitras is your athletic. Listen, I doubt DeAndre Hunter will pull minutes from Alec Poitras. Only reason why DeAndre Hunter will have to play because he was drafted number 4. It's one of those, hey, we paid for him. He's our number 4. We got to play him. Poor Alex Poitras is going to be left in the dust. But Alex Poitras, to me, and DeAndre Hunter, they're even. Neg me if you want. Down thumb me if you want. Go look at some tape on Alex Poitras and how he's come along. He's ready to go. Next player down. Our next team down. Boston Celtics. Let's look at their team, right? They're going to have a lot of movement over the summertime, right? There's going to be some big moves, I think. I think Kyrie's gone. All indications, if I'm following the rumors, Kyrie Irving's out of there, all right? So if he's gone, you're looking for point guard help. They certainly solidified that. But then they got Romeo Langford. I called that a B minus play. I didn't mind the Romeo Langford at 14. It was either him or Kevin Porter Jr. From a risk reward standpoint, less risk with Romeo Langford versus Kevin Porter Jr. Also has a jump shot, has a good mid range game. Not a bad pick. But they are guard heavy. Right? Got PJ Dozier, who may come along this year. All right, Jaylen Brown's there at the guard position. Tatum, then there's another one that plays I call it the guard 4 position. They have a couple talents. Marcus Smart is there as well. I do think, again, not a bad play, not a bad play. But then you go out still in the first round and you draft another body that you already have, Grant Williams. All right, you already got Marcus Morris, you already got Samuel Otoje, right? Same body type as Grant Williams, same body type. They got another guy. Where's the other? They got another big dude. There we go, Gershon Ubisi. And then you draft another big burly 6'7", 240 guy. For me, it was nonsense. It didn't make any sense. They already have two of these guys in Semi Okigie, I can't pronounce it right, and Gershon Ubilisi. You got two of those guys, and you draft one more. Plus, you got Marquise Morris. So I don't see how this moved the engine in any way. That's why they were downgraded. They probably would have been a B minus. But then they do something else that really scratched my head. I love the Carson Edwards pick, okay? You know, point guards are leaving. Makes sense. Kyrie could be gone. You need a backup for Terry Rozier and Marcus Smart. You go Carson Edwards, great scoring guard off the bench, right? Could potentially be your Fred VanVleet. Then you add on Tremont Waters again for another guard. So now you got 1, 2, 3, 4 freaking guards on this team. Okay? 4 freaking guards. I don't know why they drafted another guard here. I would have been looking for center, okay? A big man, all right? And they were in the realms. There were big men available. Look at their picks. Look at their picks. There were big men available in the second round that they could have went after. It looks like, I think Taco Fall has joined their summer league. Makes sense. I think Taco Fall will easily make this team because there's nothing there. I think Al Horford may be gone. Once Kyrie leaves, I think Al will bolt, and then they'll have to be on a full rebuild project. I believe Aaron Baines was moved as well. So everything to me is pointing to where was the thought process in getting another big forward, burly forward, and 2 point guards. Okay. Anyhow, that's why they're C plus. Good players, just not in the right positions, and also not in the right positions for their career. This could hurt them. Brooklyn Nets. Let's get those guys up next. It's gonna be a long video. Brooklyn Nets. Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? They went in and drafted Nick Claxton and Jalen Hands. I gave them a B plus for this. I love Nick Claxton, Chris Bosh type player. Jalen Hands for me. I think they're introducing a great backup guard for potential movement of maybe a D'Angelo Russell, right? Salary wise, maybe a Shabazz Napier has to move along as well to bring in Kyrie Irving. I think Kyrie Irving possibly has a high potential to land in this slot with Brooklyn. I don't know how it's going to tail out with Kevin Durant not making that decision from teams not done yet, and his decision to move not done yet. But if he moves to Brooklyn, Jalen Hands could prove to be a nice backup guard, change the pace. And really, I think they drafted Jalen Hands. He's a big guard at 6'3", 175, athletic. Jalen, you're going to have to be the defensive core for the second unit. And that's what teams are looking for. I saw a lot of teams go after these 6'2", 6'3" athletic guards, not because they can dunk over people, because they have the speed to disrupt and cause issues for guards such as a Steph Curry or Dame Lillard. And Jalen Hands has that athletic ability to be able to stay in front. Now it's going to be about his desire to play. So B plus for me. They got Chris Bosh. This is a lethal team now. This is a very lethal team. They have some nice pieces. I like what they did. People are going to be surprised on what they got for Nick Claxton. If he gets the touches, I'm telling you guys, Chris Bosh light. Kyrie, take a good look at this team. They're looking very good. Next up, Charlotte Hornets. Let's get there. I had them graded as a C minus. I did not. Again, Mike Jordan. I don't know. I just don't know the logic in this here, right? I see there's an agent Marvin Williams. I get that. Okay. And you can see the first pick was PJ Washington, a power forward for the Kentucky Wildcats. Had a great year. Was their anchor. However, drafting this high or putting him in this situation, I just don't understand it. I would have rather a taller, small power forward, 6'8", but he has a long wingspan. I guess that's the best you could do. I gave him a C at that point. Okay, they were a C for the PJ Washington, actually C plus. I had him a C plus for PJ Washington. Not bad, but I thought there's other players such as a Nas Reed that were available. Then they draft Cody Martin, great player out of Nevada, but goes into a situation where they have some talent that is growing strong in Mr. Mike Kidd-Gilchrist, Dwayne Bacon, Nicholas Batum, and Miles Bridges. Where does Cody Martin fit in with that? Then they draft another small forward in Jalen McDaniels, who's too skinny to play power forward, but yeah, he can do it in stretches. I would have been all in for point guard with this team as they finding a backup. 36, I believe Carson Edwards was there at before 30s. I mean, this is the type of stuff that makes no sense. The roster it's positionless basketball. Looks like what they're playing, but it made no sense. I mean, I don't understand the play here. Maybe another taller shooting guard. I would draft one of those forwards, lengthy athletic forwards. Not just these glue. I didn't get it because they got Kidd-Gilchrist as your glue guy. Miles Bridges is your potential super, possibly an all-star. Nick Batum is your vet. Dwayne Bacon is another guy. These two guys, Bacon and Miles Bridges, I think are going to have big years if given the time. I didn't get these two, so that's why I gave him a C- from a roster perspective. Didn't make sense. Mike Jordan, I guess, I don't know. Trade assets, maybe. Yeah, that's probably what it is. There's probably a chess play here that I'm not seeing. Next up, Chicago Bullion. All right, Chicago Bulls. You got a playoff team next year. Okay? I think you have a playoff team next year with the pieces that they have. Very nice pickup. Kobe White secures the point guard position. Really love their team all around. I think they can keep all these guys. I think maybe Walter Lemon Jr. maybe moves out. But now you got a lot of athletic players on this team. You got your glue guys all over. You got some defensive prowess. Selden, really, really freaking nice. Really nice team. They're a little bit guard heavy. A couple of these guys are going to have to go. But Daniel Gafford in the second round definitely makes sense. Another anchor from a defensive perspective. Big, tall center, power forward. Again, new NBA is going to be a center even though he's skinny. Can they re-sign Robin Lopez is the question. And that's a big question. If they can re-sign him, I really like this team's potential and where they can go. Lauri Markkanen at the power forward. You got Otto at the small forward. You got Levine. I got Dunn still starting and Kobe White to change of pace. I really like this team. They can get it together. You have Wendell Carter Jr. I forgot. I mean, really nice stacked team. Raul Hawkins. They know how to find talent. I think they have enough to get in the playoffs, and that should be the expectation for next year. Great job by the Chicago Bulls. Cleveland Cavaliers. Whew. So back to it, the Cleveland Cavaliers, as noted. Let's get in this reading view again. You guys couldn't figure out what happened. Cleveland was missing. So the Cleveland Cavaliers, I'm going to make sure this is recording. The Cleveland Cavaliers went ahead and drafted Darius Garland, number 5. Dylan Windler, again, not right. Guard forward at Belmont, and Kevin Porter Jr. Love the Garland and Porter Jr. plays. Dylan Windler, I guess, I don't know too much about him. He's a stretch forward, a great shooting guard. Shooting as in 3-point shooting, so that's what his specialty is. He's a sharp shooter. I give him a B+. I mean, I don't know about Windler, but I assume I saw some tape. He looked good step back. Could shoot the hell out of the ball from what I saw in the tape. So, great pickups, solidifying their lineup. I like Marquise Christopher if they can keep him. Then you add on John Henson, the big long. Remember, they got some pieces here. Brandon Knight at your point guard, your starting point guard. Colin Sexton there at the guard. Nice team. I think they can do some damage. Playoff team, I hope not for them. They're going to have to move J.R. Smith, let him go, and let the young kids play. Maybe move Kevin Love, and they're set up to have a couple strong lottery picks in the next couple years, and be set up for a good playoff run, probably in the third or fourth year. Don't move too fast, I would say, for this team. Let this team develop. Obviously, move Jordan Clarkson. Really nice pickup for a development perspective. Could be a trusted process part 3. Remember, trusted process part 1 was Philadelphia. Number 2, to me, is Atlanta. And now I think Cleveland, in a couple of years, are setting up pretty nicely to have a nice team. Just have to make some more trades. So good night for Cleveland. Not bad for what was available.
Purchase your tracks today.
Next up. So no Dallas. Dallas picked for somebody else. We're going to move to Denver. Denver, steal of the night. Okay. Denver, the steal of the night. Bo. I told you guys this many times, plenty of times. I've been pitching this guy since early on in the college basketball season. I said he should be rated higher than Zion Williamson because of his upside. He gets picked up by the Denver Nuggets. Lord have mercy. Look at their team, their roster. I would have loved to see them get another backup point guard, but they're very strong in all facets of the game. I don't know who is going to be a taker of Isaiah Thomas in the summer, but I would re-sign him and then actually let him play a role. I think he'd be ready back for that 6-man role. Get him back engaged. I really love this team. They are loaded in all aspects from a defensive perspective. Now they just added some more 3-point shooting, something that they were missing and lacking. He won't have to play big minutes, so I'm not worried about his foot. Great pickup for the Denver Nuggets. I expect big things from them next year. They should have a strong run in the playoffs. Detroit Pistons. Detroit, what up, though? So Detroit Pistons, grade A for me. They picked the best available. I respect that. They got Drummond. They got Blake Griffin, right? They got all these talents here. How did he end up there? I think they traded that. Anyway, they got all these great talents. And unless there's another trade, I'm a little bit worried here. I may be making this video and something went down, but maybe my eye. So Sequoia Doumbouya, again, is the pickup for this team along with Isaiah Roby. I love this pick. Then they get Jordan Bone. Okay, I forgot the trades have not been consummated yet. So very, very nice pickup there. Jordan Bone can back up Reggie in case Ish Smith leaves. He can play dual role. He's 6'3", can probably do a little bit of shooting guard help as well. They have a very nice core of guards. I think Whitehead makes the team. Smith, again, guard, Bone and Whitehead are kind of like guards, right? They can play both roles. Your point guards are Ish Smith and Reggie Jackson. Does Reggie Jackson move? I think somebody will give him some money, so he may move. So now you have another guy that can possibly fill in that role at the point guard position. Probably Ish Smith starting, and then Jordan Bone coming off the bench. Whitehead playing wherever the help is needed on that team. Isaiah Roby is a nice glue guy. Very nice pickup there. Can come off the bench and help defensively. Something that I think they need his help with at the 4 position. And then you have Mr. Lithuania. Is probably going to be a stash away. Great shooter from Lithuania. I think when he comes over, he'll be of help as well. Sharpshooter coming off the bench. They do have Shvi, so it's a good stash away. I don't think they'll need Servidis for another 2 to 3 years because Shvi will come along very well. And then Sequoia Doumbouya is your if factor. If he pans out, hey, you got another small forward there. Everyone's talking about Pascal Siakam. I can see that. A slower Pascal Siakam, that's good enough. Just needs to get you 14, 13 points a game with this team, and that has paid dividends. So A for the Pistons, picking the best available and making it happen in the second round. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, Lordy. F for the first pick, Jordan Poole in the first round. No one is even thinking about this kid. F. Alan Samaljic, I've seen some tape of him. That brought him up to a D. All right, that's a big jump, ain't it? But he's pretty good. All right, not bad from Serbia. Okay, want to help with the small forward, power forward position. Then you get in Eric Paschall, and that's what jumped them up. I love Eric Paschall, C plus. This is the best pick of their draft. That's Eric Paschall, steal, possible Draymond Green replacement. I really like Eric Paschall and what he can bring to the table for the Golden State Warriors. Amazing pickup. No offense, Jordan Poole at the shooting guard position. I didn't understand it. There was other guards they could get that could shoot. There's guards in free agency that they could get that can shoot. I would have just traded down and took more picks in the second round if that was his team. But they have a system, and maybe Jordan Poole has shown them something that fits in that system. He does look like a Golden State type guard. However, at 28, I think it's too high. Let another team pay you for that spot, and then draft him in the second round and get him for cheaper. Next up, Houston Rockets. And I don't believe they had anything, so I'm going to skip down. Houston Rockets did some good off-season moves right after the draft for undrafted free agents. They didn't do anything necessarily in the draft because they didn't have any real draft picks that they could use. So off to the Indiana Pacers. And they drafted Goga. Goga C plus. I said they got Sabonis and Miles Turner. I didn't see the need for Goga, but hey, another backup center, so C plus grade there. Nothing much to say about it. It fits in their scheme, and I guess another center to use. But you got O'Quinn, you got Sabonis, and you got Turner. So you're 4 deep at the center position, and I don't think he can interchange. I don't think Goga can be a power forward. He's a little bit too slow. Maybe Sabonis can. He has the athleticism to do that, and maybe Miles can. But right now, that's your line and a good backup. Would love to see another point guard or another shooting guard with the loss of Tyreke Evans, but that didn't happen. So I guess Goga was the best available, and they went with it. Nothing more to say with Indiana. C plus for that. Next up, LA, big city of dreams. They went all out. They love Florida. I mean, Florida State, Mr. Doc Rivers and the Florida State coach must have a relationship. They went all Florida State out. I love the pick. Kambali fills in a good bench player for the center role, but they do have centers already on this team. However, best available and what they had to offer, I understand it. They went with Kambali, who's gonna have to be a stretch power forward for them. That's his role because Angel Delgado is not really stretching the floor yet. Montrezl Harrell is strictly inside. He may get a jump shot this summer. John Motley is inside as well. He doesn't stretch it. So there's no stretch 4 here. And Kambali is developing a three-point shot, like to play. Terrence Mann, hey, gritty guard. Another guy off the bench that can play defensive havoc. This makes this team possibly my all-defensive team next year. Let's see if they can make the same ways that they have, but they need a little bit more scoring. They couldn't find it in this draft, so they went with what they know in defensive help, and then they got a three-point shooter in Kambali, who's also athletic enough to get inside. So he'll be a surprise depending on how many minutes he plays, but they are lowered at the forward and center position, so I think it's going to be tough for him to find minutes, but he's a first-rounder, so he will play a little bit. LA Lakers. I don't understand it. Taylor Horton Tucker. I don't understand the pick. Okay. I don't get it. But gave him a C plus. Not a sharpshooter. I don't know who the Lakers grass is, but again, he's a strong player. No, don't say, hey, Taylor Horton's a bum. No, I'm just saying the fit for what they have and what they're trying to do. I don't understand it, but they drafted him. I don't know what to say. He's a player out of Iowa that can play. He can be a defensive guard, big long arms, burly body, kind of like a Eric Gordon. Let's see what he does. All right, solid player. Just don't know why. So we'll leave it at that. There's other free agent guards they could have got. I think they should focus on Terrence Ross and guys like that. But we'll see what they do. LA Lakers made their pick. Taylor Horton Tucker. I gave him a C plus for that. Memphis Grizzlies. How do you like to have two of the most athletic, or two of one of the most athletic players in this draft. John Moran and Brandon Clark added to the team and bring some excitement. I love this pick. Nothing more to say. You know about Jaja. You know about Brandon. And really, this should be an A+, really. I mean, when you look at what other people drafted, this should be an A+, but I love the Brandon, the John Moran play. The Brandon Clark, I gave it a B+ because I love him as a player, but they're forward heavy. So I don't know what minutes he gets and who he takes away from, right? You got already Ivan Rabb, who's coming along strong in his career. You got Jaren Jackson Jr. You got Parsons, Chandler, who's playing like the forward position now with his injury. He's gonna have to play a little bit forward and stretch PF, right? Stretch power forward and shoot the ball. So I see where he comes in as a fourth guy, so that's okay. But still, time-wise, I don't know how many minutes he gets with this team, but not a bad play. Again, they even got Kyle Anderson who plays some power forward at times. Brandon Clark comes in as the athletic beast and see what he can do. B+ for this team because of the Brandon Clark fit, even though I think they got two of the most athletic players in the draft. Miami, the heat is on, but I don't know what the Heat were doing. If he pans out to be a Rex Chapman Jr., he'll shut me up. I just think he was drafted too high here. I don't understand the pick either. With their lineup, you can just look through it. Dion Waiters, Josh Richardson, Wade's gone. Okay, all right, I'll shut up. You know what? Maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe it's a C-. Okay, maybe it's a C-, right? Wade's gone, right? Wade's gone, so they need another guard. Okay, this is wrong. So it should be a C-. Casey Opala comes in, at the forward position. They got a shooting guard. Understand his pick. So I will disregard the D+. It should be a C-, I think. I just think they reached for Tyler Hero, but fit-wise, they didn't need him. There's no really shooting guard here. Gordon Dragic's really a point guard. So they got some shooting. They took what they needed and they got it. So Miami Heat, C-. Milwaukee Bucks. No, that's wrong. I'll have to delete this part. Do you believe in magic? And I hope you do. Look, it miraculously turned into the Minnesota Timberwolves. So the Minnesota Timberwolves picked next. Milwaukee Bucks did not have a pick in the draft. They drafted Jarrett Culver and Jalen Noel. I did not like the Jarrett Culver pick. Okay, I did not like it this early. I didn't like him as a fit play for this team. I thought they needed a point guard, go after a point guard. But Jarrett Culver, I guess, is a tenacity play. Some people are saying Jimmy Butler 2.0 at the guard forward position. He's really a guard. I don't know where they got him as small forward, but it was a reach for me. I just I don't like him. I don't like him in this position. I think he's a 10 15 type lottery player in this draft. In other drafts, maybe a late first rounder, but I didn't like him on his team. As a player, he's pretty good, but too early and doesn't meet the fit perspective. So obviously, I think there's going to be a lot of moves made with the Minnesota Timberwolves that we are not obliged to know about at this time. So we'll see what happens. Bayless is there. He's older, I guess. Let me see who else is here. I'm trying to figure out what was the play here. They just drafted a guard, Josh Okogie. Jalen Noel is why they were raised up. I really had this as a D for drafting Culver this early, but then Jalen Noel as your second round backup point guard or shooting guard. I like the play, smart play. I think this will pay him dividends in getting Mr. Jalen Noel. I really like this play for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So amazing effort there in drafting Noel from a scout perspective. But the Culver play, even though I'm looking at their lineup right now and saying, it makes sense a little bit, I just don't see it. Right? I don't like Culver on this team. But now that I look at their roster, I can see the need for a shooting guard based upon what I'm seeing when you only have really Josh Okogie coming back. So C+ because of talent. I would have got a better talent than Jarrett Culver, but it is what it is. That's the system that they play. They believe in Wiggins. They believe in Anthony Towns, right? Those are my core. So I just need a guy that can fit in, right? And Culver can shoot it a little bit. Not a sharp shooting 3-point shooter, but he can shoot a little bit and has some defensive capabilities. So, okay, I get it. New Orleans Pelicans, man. The talk of the night was Zion. We all know about Zion and, the freakish athleticism, Baron Davis mixed with Antoine Walker, mixed with Charles Barkley, mixed with some space, whatever. So Zion was drafted, then you got Jackson Hayes from Texas. They pick up another. He reminds me, what's the guy's name from the Sacramento Kings? The guy from Kentucky. You guys don't mind. No one's watching this long anyway. So Sacramento Kings, there's a guy. What's his name? What's the center's name? Yeah, Willie Cauley-Stein. He reminds me of Willie Cauley-Stein, but less athletic than Willie Cauley-Stein. Cauley-Stein also has a football background, as Jackson Hayes did. So New Orleans did themselves well by picking up Jackson. I thought it was a little bit too early for Hayes. That's why they were ranked a little bit down. But then they redeemed themselves with a great pick in Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I love this pickup for this team. But then they went with Da Silva, Marcos Da Silva, and for that was a question mark, but he's a stash away, so he probably won't play. They don't need him. But Nick Alexander-Walker, you got to remember, though, this team has Frank Jackson, all right? If you don't know, Frank Jackson has come along pretty good from a development perspective. I think he is going to have a breakout year this year as either a six-man or a possible incumbent starter. This is now his time. They also got Stan Johnson, who can play guard or forward, in my opinion. He has the feet movement to play the guard position. And then they have, where's the other guard at? E'Twaun Moore is solid, been their star for years for New Orleans. So I like their pickups. However, I really do think that the Jackson Hayes was a bit of a reach, and the Marcus Luaza Silva, they could have picked somebody else up to help with this team. But you got to remember, they're getting Lonzo, they're getting Josh Hart, they're getting Ingram, so that's going to fill their shooting guard slot. So a stash away does make sense because they're going to be kind of heavy. They needed another power forward backup, in my opinion. I think Randall may be gone. They can't afford him, so I would have went with a Naz Reid, but that's something they didn't fill. We'll see how that goes. Davis is gone, obviously, so that's why I ranked them with a B+. Next down, New York Knicks. New York, big city of drinks. New York Knicks, R.J. Barrett, B. Excuse me, it was an A. It was an A with R.J. Barrett, done, right? Then you get Ignas Brazdeikis from Michigan. I don't know what that was, right? I don't know what that was. You got Mario Hezonja there, right? So the only thing I can see is Brazdeikis is a sharp-shooting three-point shooter. They really don't have that. He's a shooter. You bring him off the bench as your shooter. I think this is the end of the road for Isaiah Hicks. I don't know why they drafted this kid, but you got him. I guess this is all they could do. They got to re-sign Moody. They got I don't know about this pick. I don't know about this pick from a need standpoint. What am I doing? There you go. I gave him a B because of Barrett, but Ignas Brazdeikis, I don't really like him on his team. Remember, when I say I don't like the player, it doesn't mean the player themselves. They're great players. It means the team fit or how high they were drafted doesn't make sense to me. And Brazdeikis fits that mold. I don't know where the minutes come in. Maybe 2-3 minutes a game to shoot two or three 3-pointers. That may be it for him. Gave the Knicks a B for that effort. OKC. How you gonna give the Knicks a B and then you give the Oklahoma City Thunder a B+? Because they draft the best available talent. They draft the best available talent. They don't mess around. All right? They don't mess around. They've been doing this for years. Their lineup, if you knew how athletic this team, and if their coach is able to put them to play together, Darius Bazley out of high school, I love this pick. I love him. He fits in well. Can they re-sign all these guys? Andre Roberson, I think he's paid his dues and he can move on. They need to let him move on and let the young players develop. I think he fills in perfectly as a defensive player, coming right in, learning the game, but he may not be able to shoot or offensively kill you, but he has a great leaping ability and is young and has energy. Bring him in as a defensive forward, even possibly guarding some guards in small minutes. I like this pick in Darius Bazley. Risk reward is so high with this young kid. I love what I saw out of him. He looks like a skinnier Jabari Parker with no injury, so I love that. Continuing down the road. Oh God. Oh, I think they had another pick too. I don't think they captured it. I just drunk something. I mean, it's liquor. Yeah, it's certainly liquor. Do I need to say anything else with this? I mean, ACL injury. ACL injury. Anyhow, Vujacic is possibly gone, right? I would have rather seen him go with Goga Badizdi, right? Vujacic is possibly gone. There really isn't any strong power forward on this team. I think Jerome Martin has the most potential to come along, because you got to remember, some of these kids may come along. I would have liked Naz Reid on this team, The guard position, Evan Fournier is getting a little bit old in the tooth. Melvin Frazier Jr. looks like he's an off-the-bench guard, and nothing has startup potential at this time. I rather would have had Kevin Porter Jr. for this team. I thought this was a matchup made in heaven. No, I didn't get it. I got Orlando Magic drafting Chuma Okeke. Great fundamental player. I saw him. He has a mid-range game. He can rebound. It's just need-wise, don't see it. Don't see it. Even a point guard, a true point guard, because I don't know what Markelle Fultz is. All right, Fultz, Williams, Augustine. I guess that's your trio. Your guard is Fournier and Wiz and Kindu. Melvin Frazier Jr. barely plays. That's where I would have landed right there, right? Small forward is Aaron Gordon, power forward. Aaron Gordon, small forward. Jonathan Isaac, power forward. I'm going to just call them forwards. I skipped over Jerry Grant. He also is a good defensive guard, Maybe that's another fill-in spot I would have added, and I guess that's why they went with Okeke. Terrence Ross at the guard. I don't know. I think I would go for the best available talent, not somebody coming off an ACL injury. Even though those issues have been fixed through the years and people can recover, it's still an ACL. It is what it is. So I don't know about this pick for this team, but they did it. I'm gonna stop talking about it. They got a C+. Phoenix Suns. For all the folks that don't know about shooting and getting a lineup, again, the Sixers didn't have a pick. I think the Phoenix Suns did pretty well here in drafting some more shooting. They're going to be a shoot your freaking lights out team. Your core inside is going to be DeAndre Ayton busting balls inside, and he's going to be able to pop out to 1, 2, 3. Cam, Ty, and Devin. They're trying to look to be the next Splash Brothers. I can see it now. I see what they're doing. That's what they're trying to do. Along with that, they did sign some athleticism in Jalen Leak, the high school player. He's in my undrafted video. Jalen Leak was signed. So, hey, you got that talent. You got your shooters. I'm excited to see this team and what they can bring to the table. Tyler Johnson, your defensive point guard right now. I mean, I really like this team. I think they did a good job in this draft. Re-sign Kelly. You're trying to move Josh Jackson. I would just keep him. I would just keep Josh. Why not? There's nothing you're going to get from him. So just keep him. They have some good centers, some athletic centers, right? I do like this team, right? So I think they did a good job. TJ Warren's gone. But, again, great pickup for this team. Like to see what they do this year. Maybe another lottery year, and you're looking at a team that can make their waves into possibly being a playoff team in the West. Really like what they did here. B-. Sat Kings. right? Sack Kings over and over again. Kyle Guy was a good pick. Justin James didn't understand that pick. Didn't understand that pick. You go for the best available talent. When you don't know who to pick, go for the best available talent. Guys like Luka Dort and things like that, sitting, not getting picked up. There's several players that were just sitting, waiting to get picked up, and no one picked Shamari Ponds. I mean, go for the best available player. Here, I don't know if they needed him, right? Buddy Hield's there at the shooting guard position. Got Alec Burke. I mean, you got what's Bogan. Where does Justin James fit in? I'm lost at this pick. They need to re-sign small forward Harrison Barnes. I think that's where they would need help. They haven't re-signed Harrison yet. He opted out. What are you doing here? I don't understand it, but it is what it is. They made this play. Then they draft another European at the last pick, Vanja Marinkovic. I mean, head scratchers here. Head scratchers for this team. I would have continued to add a little bit of size, maybe a backup. Kostov has done his due. He's an older player now. Get a nice backup for Willie Cauley-Stein at the center position. I just don't understand this pick of another guard to muddy up the waters for this team. Even a backup power forward would have looked nice for this team. Naz Reid, one of those guys. I keep mentioning Naz Reid is another team that he fits in with, even though they have Kalen Swalligan. I think Caleb's going to play more of a center role. Why not get somebody to back up Mr. Marvin Bagley? And I don't know. Anyhow, I gave him a C minus. Didn't understand it was an F. Guy brought him up to a C, and then Marakovic brought him back to a C minus. Yeah, Guy brought him up that high because he makes sense. Sharpshooting point guard to back up Yogi and Mr. De'Aaron Fox. Again, Mason's there as well, but he's more of a change of pace guard. And my apologies, obviously opposite. It's Frank Mason who comes in as the backup, and Yogi's kind of like the change of pace guard and defensive guard. So another bigger guard here. Kyle Guy about 6'2", 6'3", who can shoot the three. I agree with that. Spurs. They always find steals, right? Isn't that the case? The Spurs always find these little steals somewhere. They always do this, right? So the Spurs get Keldon, Luka, and Quinnery Weatherspoon. Luka and Keldon brought them to an A, and then the Quinnery Weatherspoon pickup didn't understand that. Okay, I didn't understand that pick. When I look at their roster, didn't know how he fit in. They got DeJounte Murray coming off of the ACL. They got Pat Mills. I guess to mix it up, I just thought Shamari Ponds or Luka Dort would have been nice for this team. But they went with Quinnery Weatherspoon, who's going to have to play the point guard position, not shooting guard, because I think they're loaded there. DeMar DeRozan doesn't come off the Bucks until next year if he decides to leave. So, okay night for the Spurs. Got a B because of the Weatherspoon pick. Toronto Raptors, they drafted DeJuan Hernandez. I don't understand that pick at all. So I can't relate to anything going on with that pick. C minus for this team. Didn't understand why they drafted this kid with their lineup. Didn't get it, but hey, they know better than I do, right? We'll see how he pans out. He may just be the straight stretch five that I think he is, and that may be enough for them to pay dividends as a second rounder with the second to last pick in the draft. Next one down, Utah Jazz. Pretty nice night. Okay, they drafted hard. They got another backup point guard, a big backup point guard to help out Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell. Really like that play. They still got Dante Exum. I like Foreman. Foreman brought him up. Brantley at 50 was a reach to me. I didn't understand that. Mia Oni's another shooter. Nice play. Gave him a B. They got some role players and practice players to help push the initiative with this team. Do they sign Ricky Rubio is a question. I think it would be smarter than to do that even with Conley, but with Conley coming, I think Rubio's possibly gone. They won't be able to afford him. So great move by Utah, taking the risk of getting Foreman with the 53 pick and then getting a sharpshooter from the Ivy League and Mia Oni. Not bad to replace Korver and those guys who have just moved. Last up, baby. Long video, and I'm still scratching my head trying to wake up. Rhea Hamatura, bad pick for the situation on the team, but good pickup as far as a player. Rui comes in, should have went to Minnesota, but Washington picks him up. Let's see what he plays into for this team. They're kind of loaded, but if they move a lot of these players, which may happen due to John Wall being out, you want to kind of say, hey, let's rebuild a little bit here. Bradley Bill's on a trading block. Why not? Then they get Schofield in the second round. So they get two players who kind of play the same type of role, power forward bruisers. And they already have a lot of that already. Parker is not a bruiser, but a power forward, I think, and small forward. You also got one of the Morris brothers on here as well. I don't understand this. Jeff Green's there. Bobby Portis. So you got a lot of strong players already. I just didn't understand why they wanted to go with Mr. Rui Hachimura this early. Actually, I don't see Morris. I thought Moore he got traded, right? He got traded, so that's my fault. Nice team. I would have went with a point guard here. Point guard and traded now to get him. And then possibly looked at another shooting guard, a true shooting guard, because if Bill's leaving, you don't want to have that. So pretty much okay night for Washington Wizards. They'll be in the lottery for the next couple of years, trying to rebuild and get themselves back in shape. Offwork Sports, my review of the draft. How long was this? Probably 40 minutes. We'll take it. I'm out of here. Peace.